If you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success.
Hello and welcome. Warren Buffett started his first business when he was 11, became a millionaire around age 30, and now he's worth over $88.6 billion. Millions of people from all walks of life look to Warren Buffett for advice. Even those who may disagree with his conclusions still acknowledge his immense influence as the Oracle of Omaha. He once said, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die." The lesson from his quote is to build income streams that make money regardless of whether you work that day or not. If you get sick, take a vacation, get injured, or whatever, your income should still be coming in. Instead of working your way up, work your way out.
Take the job that you would take if you were independently wealthy. You're going to do well at.
Making money while you sleep means you're finding ways to continue generating income even when you're not actively working. And that type of income also refers to passive income, another term that represents the little effort it takes to earn and maintain some money. Examples of passive income include property rentals, dividends from investing in stocks, and royalty payments from intellectual property, like music or film. However, these examples of passive income aren't always easy to create. Passive income isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, and it certainly isn't free money. Generating passive income always involves work. What makes passive income different is that you do the work up front until you can sit back and reap the rewards. Keep in mind that passive income isn't truly passive. All passive income opportunities require maintenance to keep the money flowing.
You get money compounding at that kind of rate underlying your investment, and you get a diversified group of that. You're going to do well.
Whether it's tweaking an investment portfolio or fixing a rental property's plumbing. If you want to be like Warren Buffett, follow the Buffett formula. The key to success is not only making money while you sleep, but going to bed a little smarter each day. Like a good investment, knowledge builds up like compound interest.
If you think you're going to be a lot happier if you've got 2x instead of x, you're probably making a mistake. You ought to find something you like. If you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. Never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves them. The most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. Basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with. And you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy. And the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's a little bit better than you are, and then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast.
The S&P 500 index is the one to use. That's the one I used in that bet I made for 10 years. It's the one I've told the trustee for my wife to put 90% of the funds I leave her into. The S&P 500 is, I don't know whether it's 80% of the market value of everything you can buy in this country, and I think it's over 20 trillion, and you're buying America. And let me give you a figure that'll blow your mind, I think. I bought my first stock when I was 11 years old. It was the first quarter of 1942, shortly after Pearl Harbor. I spent $114.75. Three shares, $114.75. If I put that $114 into the S&P 500 at that time and reinvested the dividends, think of a figure as to what it would be worth today. The answer is about $400,000. So if I, as a little kid, had taken that $114 I'd saved shoveling snow or whatever I'd done, $400,000 today, one person's lifetime. That's America. That isn't me. It is the huge tailwind
I just read and read and read. I probably read 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't read as fast now as when I was younger, but I read 5 daily newspapers. I read a fair number of magazines. I read 10Ks. I read annual reports, and I read a lot of other things too. So I've always enjoyed reading. I love reading biographies. Famous lesson about a margin of safety, that you don't drive a truck that weighs 9,900 pounds across a bridge that says limit 10,000 pounds, because you can't be that sure about it. If you see something like that, you go down a little further down the road and you find one that says limit 20,000 pounds, and that's the one you drive across. The nature of capitalism is that people want to come in and take your castle. Perfectly understandable. I mean, if I'm selling television sets or something, there's going to be 10 other people that can try and sell a better television set. If I have a restaurant here in Omaha, people are going to try and copy my menu and give more parking and take my chef and so on. So capitalism's all about somebody coming and trying to take the castle. Now, what you need is a castle that has some durable competitive advantage, some castle that has a moat around it. And that moat, one of the best moats in many respects, is to be a low-cost producer. But sometimes the moat is just having more talent. I mean, if you're the heavyweight champion of the world and you keep knocking out people, you've got a competitive advantage as long as you can keep doing it. And it's very profitable if you're the one that happens to be able to do it. If you can turn out great motion pictures, I mean, Steven Spielberg, I mean, he's a fellow to bet on, and it has enormous economic value. But I would also say, if you asked me to take the over or under 2030, what percent of the cars on the road in the United States are driverless, I would take the under on 10%. But I may be wrong. Longbets.com you can go to on the internet and you can make a bet on something like that, as I did on the hedge fund bet. But I would take under 10%, but I may be wrong. There's no question, if you have 50% driverless cars or 75% driverless cars, the auto premium volume would very likely be far less, and probably the dealership arrangements in the United States would be changed in some way that's hard to predict. I absolutely advise students. I had students last week, 160 of them from Harvard and South Dakota State. I just tell them, try to find your passion. And, I mean, may not find it the first time, but, don't sleepwalk through life. Find something that you really enjoy doing if you can do it. And, not everybody's lucky enough to be able to find that, but it ought to be your goal. To make $10 a week more doing something that you don't feel good about compared to something you feel good about, make the change.